Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Welcome to today's live discussion from Bhagavad Gita as it is, by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. At the moment, we are on chapter 17 of Bhagavad Gita as it is, the divisions of faith. And so far we have covered up to the verses 4 of this chapter. Let us begin from verses 5 onwards. We will be discussing up to verses 8 today. Yesterday we were discussing in the first 4 verses how to recognize the faith level from the 3 modes. And today let's begin from verse 5. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langate kiram yat kripatam ham vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananta Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Hari Om Tat Sat. Verse 5. Ashastra vihitam ghoram tapyante ye tapo janaha dambha ahamkara samyuktaha kamaraga balanvita. Verse 6. Karshayanta sharirastham bhutagramam chetasaha mam chaivantah sharirastham tana vidyas suranishchayan. These were together in Bhagavad Gita as it is. So let's do the translation of these 2 verses together. Those who undergo severe austerities and penances not recommended in the scriptures, performing them out of pride and egoism, who are impelled by lust and attachment, who are foolish and who torture the material elements of the body as well as the super soul dwelling within, are known to be as demons. Verse 7. Aharas Tvavapi sarvasya trividho bhavati priyah yagyastapas tatha danam tesham bhedamimam shrinu. Even the food each person prefers is of 3 kinds, according to the 3 modes of material nature. The same is true of the sacrifices, austerities and charities. Now hear the distinction between them. Verse 8. Ayuhu sattva balarogya sukha priti vivardhanaha rasya snigdha sthira hridya ahara satvika priya. Okay, we'll do verse 9 as well. Katava vamala lavana tyushna tikshana ruksha vidahinah ahara rajasya sheshta dukha shokamaya pradaha. Foods that are too bitter, too sour, salty, hot, pungent, dry and burning are dear to those in the mode of passion. Such foods they cause distress, misery and disease. So in chapter 17 now, which is the divine divisions of faith, verses 5 and 6 will be discussing about the demonic austerities. In verses 5 and 6, Bhagwan is telling that the ones who undergo severe austerities, severe tapasyas and penances are not recommended, which are not recommended in the scriptures. They perform those out of pride and egoism, and they are impelled by lust and attachment. Such beings are foolish and who torture the material elements of the body as well as the super soul dwelling within. They are known to be as demons. So the persons who are doing the austerities and penances, the tapasyas and severe austerities like going without food for long durations of time, or just not sleeping, just meditating continuously, which is not even mentioned in the scriptures, because they are, some are fasting for some ulterior purposes, just for their own benefit, which is not mentioned in the scriptures. Those scriptures, they do recommend the fasting for the benefit of advancement in spiritual life, in this spiritual advancement of one's. But the person who take to austerities just for their own, who are attached to their too much attached, have their own lusty desires and their own attachments, they are, according to Bhagavad Gita, they are the demoniac ones, because they are against the scriptures. They're acting out of false pride, their pride, false ego, lust and attachment, and it is all for the material enjoyment. So actually what they are doing, by doing such austerities, they are disturbing the elements of their body, they are disturbing the super soul within the heart. So it is not authorized by the scriptures at all. So they are actually, by disturbing the super soul inside the body, they are actually disturbing the Supreme Personality of Godhead as well, because the super soul or Paramatma is the localized aspect of the Lord within us. And these can be fatal as well, these kind of fasting which such people do. So this is not at all recommended by the Shastras. The word acheshtashaha in this verse is very significant in this connection. Acheshtashaha, where was it? No, achetasaha. It is achetasaha, not acheshtasaha, as I was saying. Achetasaha means that persons of normal mental condition must obey the scriptural injunctions, what the scriptures recommend. Now such demons who are going to neglect the scriptures, who are going to manufacture their own austerities and penances, one should always remember the ultimate end of such demoniac people, as described in the earlier chapter 16, was that Lord will force them to take birth in the wombs of the demoniac persons. So consequently they'll be living in a demonic principles, life after life, without knowing their relationship with the Lord. And if such persons are lucky enough to be guided by a spiritual master who is going to show them the Vedic wisdom, so that they can get out of the material entanglement and ultimately achieve the supreme goal. In verse 7, Bhagwan is saying that the food each person prefers is of three kinds, according to the three modes of material nature. The same is of the sacrifices, austerities and charity. And now Bhagwan is saying to Arjun that he should hear the distinctions between them. So the three modes have got completely distinctive qualities to each other in the sense that the difference, there will be a marked difference between the foods which are in mode of goodness, the ones which are in mode of passion, and the others which are in mode of ignorance. So a person, whichever mode he or she has got dominant within themselves, they are going to prefer the food according to that mode. So a person who has got the mode of goodness prominent in them, they will be enjoying the foods which are in the mode of goodness, and the person who is in passion will be attached to the foods which come in under the passion, and ignorance likewise. In verse 8, Bhagwan is saying that foods dear to those in the mode of goodness increase the duration of life, purify one's existence, and give strength, health, happiness, and satisfaction. Such foods are juicy, fatty, wholesome, and pleasing to the heart. As we know, the foods in goodness, they are all vegetarian, milk, all the dairy products, the vegetables, the fruits, the grains, they all come under that. And this is what even Bhagwan accepts from us when we offer him as bhoga. Apart from, of course, onion, garlic, and mushrooms, and those red lentils called the masoor dal, these are not accepted by Lord. And of course, the foods in lower categories as vinegar, all the fermented foods, we don't offer those to Lord as well. In verse 9, finally Bhagwan is saying that foods that are too bitter, too sour, salty, hot, pungent, dry, and burning are dear to those in the mode of passion. Such foods cause distress, misery, and disease. Well, even the modern science also says to us, and Ayurveda also says to us, that we shouldn't be eating much of these varieties of food which are too bitter, too sour, too salty, too hot, too pungent, too dry, and too burning, because they're not conducive to our digestive system. This is not how our digestive system has been programmed to take the foods, but still these are dear to the people in this category, because the foods in this category are dear to the people who are in the mode of passion, because they are working day and night, and they're very passionate, as to say, we can say. So because they fall under the mode of passion, the mode of passion is dominant in them, so they prefer the foods which come under the mode of passion. And verse 8 told us that that the ones who are in mode of goodness, they enjoy the foods which are going to increase the duration of life, purify one's existence, give one strength, health, happiness, and satisfaction. In other words, the foods which are going to give you good health, they come under the mode of goodness, and the foods under the mode of passion, they will make sure that you will have to take this or that medicine as well to live your life. Okay, you'll be satisfying your jiva, but God is going to explain more from verse 10 onwards about it. So thank you for joining. I wish you all a very blissful weekend ahead. We'll catch up soon. Hari Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna.